kitty like a cat, and this is my 5th Flosstube video. As always, I just want to start out by thanking everybody who commented on my last video or who's gone to check out any of my videos. I'm still getting, hits on Flosstube #1, so if that's what you brought you here, hello, welcome. Last video, I forgot I wanted to thank Pam and Steph from Just Keep Stitchin' for shouting me out as their silver floss tuber. It was several videos ago now, but I really appreciate that. I did, of course, thank them directly, but I just wanted to say if they brought you to my channel, then welcome. I hope if you like what you see, you stick around and, comment and interact as much as you want. I do have a lot to get through since it's been a minute since my last video, so I won't take too much time with any preamble. Just a brief overview of my experience of the Lindy Stitches Midsummer Stitch online retreat last week. This was not my first online retreat, but it was my first Lindy Stitches online retreat. And I will say that Stephanie Webb has, other people have said it, this isn't original, but Stephanie Webb has really done an excellent job putting on a really impressive cross-stitch retreat in a virtual environment. I think that she's really gone, above and beyond just, organized stitching tables. There's interviews and features, and I know in some of the other ones there's tutorials and other special videos. For that reason, I do think that I plan to at least go to the Jingle Ball this year, as long as it doesn't fall on a weekend I'm out of town, but I think that should be fine. And I'm thinking about also going to the one in the fall, but I'll see how that works with my schedule as well. So yeah, I was very impressed with how well organized and orchestrated the event was. As far as the social aspect, I've said this, I'm kind of awkward and not very confident around people, especially people I don't know very well. So I will say that there was a bit of that, like, as part of my experience, that I just that's a me thing. I just have to work through social struggles. So I'm hopefully, I knew that this first one was going to be probably harder than future times because my brain sort of has to take a minute to adapt to new things, and basically by the time I had kind of adapted, the weekend was over. So that means that next time, I will have those pathways built and hopefully not be as, just affected by the new things affect me. I don't know how to explain it, but when my routine is changed, it takes me a minute to reestablish a method of being. I will say, not to sound like a total fangirl, but I think Pam and Steph's Flosstube Live was probably my favorite, although I really enjoyed the Sunshine Stitchers as well. Of course, I'm familiar with them, but I think that was just, I don't know, it was really fun getting to see that interactive, live. And I definitely had to go check out more of their videos after that. So that was really nice. So yeah, I would be interested in hearing other people's thoughts about how these online retreats, how you kind of navigate them socially if you're not coming with a lot of friends and you're not like meeting up with certain people, what your method is. I found the first day was kind of overwhelming, but then I thought I'd kind of checked out for the day, but then at night, like pretty late at night, I decided to go into one of the night owl rooms, and I really enjoyed that. I realized that it was kind of an environment where it felt less hectic. There weren't any like planned events going on that you had to like, oh, I gotta leave and then come back or whatever. And I had a nice chat with several ladies, so that was really nice. So now I'm going to get into the floss tube of it all. I am starting out with a very exciting finish. Yes, you heard it here, folks. I finished my Mermaid of Salem Bay by the Primitive Hair, and that finish includes beads. And I obviously, like, you're not going to see the sparkle, but I do think you can see some of the effect, like how cool these beads are. And so, okay, there we go. Oh, yes. So on this chart, at least, Isabella doesn't really put like, it's not like in a Mirabilia where you have like part of the chart is the beads. It's kind of just, she puts pictures of how like the finished model looks, and then you can kind of figure it out. But I like that because I just did my own thing. I added some. I had beads in similar colors from like a leftover from a Mill Hill. So I actually added in like random, here's some random little beads. And that's from the Mill Hill kit. Those were also leftover, like little tiny beads in her hair. I think she turned out really cool. I think she's really pretty. So one more time, the whole thing. I'm really pleased with this finish, and I think I should make an effort to prioritize getting her framed, and I'll do the framing myself, but I'll buy a frame online. You want to see the back? Pretty good. Not too bad. All right. Oh, I had some people ask what the Primitive Hair linen is like. So her linen is not like I wouldn't say I don't think it's Weigart or Wishel base. It's something else. And it's a looser weave than either of those. It is more on it's not as stiff as a Wishel linen, but it's pretty thick. And so it comes in 30 count and 40 count. I haven't yet tried the 40 count because I don't stitch on 40 count. So I've had to use 2 strands, and I really like it. I think it's really nice, especially stitching in hand, because it's a looser weave. The 2 strands go through really easily, but it's still like a full coverage, as like you can tell, like it's 30 count, but it's very much 2 strands covers the square fully. I would like to try the 40 count because it is a looser weave. I'm wondering if it would be close enough to the experience, like if the holes would be easy enough to see, because I do stitch on 36 a lot. So I think I'm going to try to get the 44. There was a fairy that came out at market that I bought, and I would like to stitch it with 1 strand. So I might, but I really like the fabric she dyed for it, and so I think I'm going to try to do the 40. If it doesn't work out, I'll just use another 36 probably. Okay. Oh, and so I did use the called for, obviously, and since this will probably be the last time I show her until I frame her, I also wanted to say, so there's this sailboat here, and when I first attempted to like start this project, I was so nervous. I couldn't figure out where I should start. I'm usually top left start, which is like here, so I didn't know where to start the project in a way where at the end, you know, this would be usually the last area I stitch in. At the end, the boat was in the right place. So I did a lot of calculations, and eventually I figured out, basically, if you do just a complete middle start, the boat will be in the right place. So that makes sense, but that's what I ended up doing. I think I actually started with I started with these words. Start with mermaid. So I could anchor it to something, and then I went from there. Okay. I did not use the called for threads. The called for threads, in my opinion, don't really look like the model, and so I used some things that I had in stash that I felt like gave the same energy as the model. I'm on the couch today because I have so much stuff, and what I like to do is it's all here, and I would, like, when I'm done with it, I would put it over here. But then my precious little puppy decided that he is going to take a nap. He's taking a nap right there, so never mind. Okay. I have 3 starts, so that was my only finish. I had 3 other starts. The first one, so D from D's 20 Stitches has been doing the, you know, Stitch for Pride Stitch Along for, I think, like 3 or 4 years now. I think there's been 3 paid ones. There was like a free one. That was just education, I think. Anyhow, I haven't participated in any of those because monthly stitch alongs just really stress me out. Like, even getting the emails and I'm not stitching them stresses me out. It's just something about it. I just start to feel overwhelmed and guilty about, like, not keeping up. And so I really thought about this last time. I thought about it, and up until the last minute when it was, you know, because they're on sale for a very limited amount of time. And so I just passed. But that also means, you know, I passed the year before. But there was one design that I really liked when I saw other people stitching it, and I was hoping that Dee would put those up on their shop at some point. And I got an email, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago, I think it was in June actually, that Dee was offering in their shop, I think it was their Ko-Fi, because yeah, I think there was a Ko-Fi, and some of the patterns from the 2024 Stitch for Pride, or I think all of them, for a limited amount of time. So they were on sale for a limited amount of time. And I went ahead and I snagged the one that I really liked, and then another one as well. So the one I was obsessed with is the Edward Gorey piece. And this pin is an Edward Gorey. This is my needle minder, is an Edward Gorey. It's from the Edward Gorey Museum in Massachusetts. And it was a pin I made into a needle minder because I love Edward Gorey. Love, obsessed. So I'm about, this here is like the halfway mark, halfway down. And I love this stitching. There's something about, like, these, I don't know, I don't even know how to explain it, but I knew from seeing it that I would love stitching it, like the process of stitching it, just how this pattern is laid out, and I really do. So I am stitching this with Classic Colorworks Black Coffee on, this is Cafe au Lait. Is it Fiber on a Whim? Cafe au Lait? I got it in my birthday haul. But I think they look so good together, because black coffee has a little bit of a purplish tinge, and so does this. And I also think that's very, I don't know, it was giving Edward Gorey. I was just very excited. It worked out really well. I think I might make it into a like a stand-up, maybe. I might put it in a hoop. We will find out. So my next start is another smaller pattern, and hold on, I'm gonna put this needle in the back. It's got a needle in it. It is percolator fish. Actually, I don't know if that's what it's called. That's what I've been calling it. It's a small from Stitch Sprout on her Patreon. They're being released like alongside the larger Twin Peaks sow. So so far I've made a couple modifications. So the fish in the percolator are stitched completely called for, same colors and everything. The Twin Peaks Classic Chevron is called for in one of these darker blues, and I did it in 3371, which is the black brown, because I just thought it made it pop a little bit, and it's really like coffee colored, which I thought was appropriate because I would like to put this, when it's done, I'd like to put it like in my coffee, like next to my coffee maker. And then this fish, that's not in the pattern. In the pattern, you backstitch, there was a fish in the percolator just right here. And so it's really contained to this area. But I wanted the phrase to be like kind of stand out a little more. So I have charted the letters to go around in a different way. So this is all I have so far. But because I think it's just really funny. There was a fish in the percolator. It's a hilarious line. So that's that. I did the fill-in on this because this whole part is one color. And I did all that fill-in during Midsummer stitch. So it's mostly in the stitching rooms, honestly. I found that yeah, I stitch watching Flosstube like all the time, like constantly. But I found that when I was watching like the Flosstube lives and stuff, that I kept watching the screen, like I kept watching them. And I think it's because it was like interactive and engaging. Like it just felt right to be watching them and not stitching. But in the stitching rooms, I did a lot of stitching. So my third and final start was a spooky summerween stitch along kind of thing with Envis from Sleepy Goblin Crafts, which is very appropriate because it is the goblins. So this is a pattern from the, what year was it? 1995 Cross Stitch and Country Crafts October edition. Envis had showed this in their in like a haul that they had, and I said, oh my god, I have that, and I have been wanting to stitch the goblins pattern for so long. And so I'm super duper excited. So I will show you mine so far. I'm stitching this on a 32 count XJU Designs Elixir linen. Okay. There is a little bit of a goblin here, but mostly I worked on the border. And I love it. I love this geometric border. It's really fun to stitch. Again, I really like kind of geometric shapes. I like stitching shapes. I don't know. The goblin, the more I look at him, the more normal he looks. But the dye lots have definitely changed. What's funny is I actually was able in my stash to find several of the original flosses, like vintage 80s, 90s. So this one, and then like all of these ones, those that have the vintage labels on them. And so I had those in my collection because I have some flosses and these ones. So I think there's like 6 or 7 that I had that are vintage dye lots. But I have several new ones as well. And I don't know. I'm actually looking at the model starting to think that like maybe even at the time they were off from the model. I don't know. But like one of the colors it's called like dark olive drab, and then it's like this color. I wouldn't call that dark or olive or drab. So, and it's not called that anymore. It's like light green. So I'm gonna fiddle with some things because especially I think I've decided not to do the blends. There's blends that just look bizarre, like the flosses that you're supposed to hold together just don't make any sense together. So I think I'm just gonna not do the blends and just pick one of the colors that I think is the primary color and go from there. But we'll just see. We'll see what happens. It's gonna look different from the model, but that's fine. I don't care. Because I just think it's really cute, and I really love that border, and I'm glad that I'm enjoying stitching that border. Because honestly, like a lot of the pattern, most of the stitching is this border, but it is really nice. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and this pattern is in a bag that I made. This was one of the first project bags I made, and I was reflecting because at the time I was real, I don't know, disappointed in it. I thought it was ugly, but now I'm like, what were you talking about? I think it looks nice it was like my first or second attempt. I think it was my first bag where I did, like I had cut out like this part separate instead of doing a top zipper. And I think at this point I do prefer a top zipper just because I like to be able to use this room. Like I want this amount of room to be accessible, but I think it looks pretty good. Anyway, it's cute. The sun's going down, so I turned the lamp on. But I have a few plans that I'm going to share for August. I have 2 planned starts. So the first one is Blackbird Inn by Little House Needleworks. I've always really liked this, and I want to have it up in my kitchen. So I need to buy some floss for it. I think I'm just going to do the DMC for this one. It is in overdyes, but there's not a conversion, but I can make one. There's only 6 colors. And I have picked out a 36 count Grace Notes French Vanilla, which I think it'll look nice on. So I'll be doing this with 1 strand. And then my big start for August is my very first Hawk Run. This is Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. It's by Carriage House Samplings, which is Kathy Barrick and her sister. It's a classic. You've probably seen it if you've been on Flosstube for any amount of time. And I am doing a modification. So I don't love this middle motif. And I really just don't want to stitch it. The ones I like love, there's so many things I love about so many of these squares, and there's just not a lot. I'm not vibing with that one. So I was like, well, I could take it out. So that's what I've done. And then I've also taken this one out. I love it, but I want to do it as its own thing. I just feel like it doesn't again, I don't really feel like it vibes as much with the rest of the squares. So mine is going to be a 3x3 block. And I've rearranged them a bit, but the verse is in the same order because there's words throughout it that come from a poem. So those are going to be in the same order, but some of the things are rearranged, and again, it's going to be a square. My opinion is, it's such a big design. If there's something that you don't want to stitch, don't stitch it. There's plenty to stitch. So even though I'm cutting out a quarter, I'm cutting out a quarter of that design. This is the piece of fabric I got for it. Oh, she's big. Yeah, she's big. She's big. This is, oh no, what is it? It's a kitten stitcher fabric. I don't know the color. It's 36 count. And it's a greenish beige. It's exactly what I wanted. It's a greenish beige, yeah. And it's more green than it's showing. Like it's a little darker, a little warmer green. But I have, for this one, because it's so big, I'm not getting silks for that. I have the DMC, and what I do, so my plan is I'm going to put them on floss drops 1 square at a time. So I'll just do the first square at first. And if I get to something and I'm not loving the DMC that was picked, I'll just pick another DMC. But I think DMC is going to look great. So, I plan to really focus on this piece in August. I would like to get enough of it done where you can start to see something, like some motifs. So like not just a border or something. I'm not doing all the borders up front. I'll do with the borders as I go. That's how I am with most things. Because if I do the borders up front, I'm going to miscount. And then where are we? And then, because again, this is such a big project, and I like to get enough of a start on something where I feel like, you know, I got my claws in it, and I'm not, if something is so little of a start, it feels like I could just like abandon it forever. It's like it never happened. I want it to really be a whip. And so my plan is to work on it all of August, and then I'm going to pull it back out in October. But I'm going to give myself a break in September, because I think I'll get burnt out if I try it for 2 months in a row. So that is the plan. I'm very excited about it. It just is a big project, and I have to kind of like psych myself up for something like that. And I'm really excited because I rearranged the squares and like did a mock-up and stuff like a year ago. So yeah, I'm really excited to have a start date, and I will probably start that this weekend at the beginning of August. Okay, so we've made it to collection development. It's been a while, so I feel like I actually have, you know, quite a bit. So I'll just hop right into it. So the designer from Stitch Sprout had a birthday and had a bit of a birthday sale on her Etsy shop. So I bought a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to put pictures up because I just got the PDFs and I have a black and white printer. But first I got a cuckoo clock. I thought that was really cute. It's kind of Christmassy. I'd probably keep it up all year, but I really liked that. I got Dance of the Monarchs and Dandelion Forest Mushrooms. And both of those I'm very excited about. I did, there's this frog on a toadstool that I did by Stitch Sprout. And it's one of my favorite pieces ever. I mean, it's on the like wall opposite where I sit at my kitchen table. And I look at it all the time. And every single time I'm like, that's so pretty. It's so pretty. The back stitch really does it. And so these are 2 more nature pieces with back stitch that I think really is where the magic is for those patterns. So and also I did a cicada by Stitch Sprout, that same thing. Like I think the back stitch just really makes it. It's a beautiful nature piece. So I am excited to work on those because I know that they will be gorgeous. They're just absolutely gorgeous. Okay. Oh, I also got man, I really should have. It's a pride butterfly. I don't know the name of it. Because okay, so to save ink and paper, I don't usually print out the cover photo. Because I have a black and white printer. I just print out the chart. So I don't have the names of these, but I have this butterfly with a rainbow. I think it's a pride butterfly. It's what it's called, but I'll put it up there. And then I got the little strawberry farmer kitty cat. She's so cute. She's so cute. And then, oh, and then I also ordered some physical items, which I had never done before. But hey, it was her birthday and I wanted to show her some love. So I got, oh, it comes with a little freebie chart with the Stitch Sprout logo on it. Very, very cute. I'm very excited about this. I got a Stitch Sprout. Ooh, ah, look at him. Little pin. It's like a button. I got unwrapping ASMR. I got a Strawberry Farmer keychain that I am insanely stoked about. I like that it's like pixel art. It's because it looks like cross stitch. I love that. I got 3 needle minders. They're so freaking cute. Okay. Yeah, there we go. So they got these 2 little guys. There's a bunny and a kitten with a cupcake. There we go. And then got this little puppy dog needle minder. Tell me why he's so cute. Why is he so cute? Okay. Then I got a few stickers. I got this frog that I really want to put on my laptop. Beautiful. Of course, Sprouts logo. Love. And then this pixel art cross stitch like haunted house ghost situation, which I also love. So as always, I mean, I don't think a video will go by where I don't mention Stitch Sprout, so go check her out. Check out her Etsy store. There's a lot of great stuff on there. The next thing that, I wanted to say this. Now listen, I respect all packaging decisions because, you know, some people make decisions to do like the most sustainable option or whatever. But I have to say, I always love a really cute packaging moment. And don't worry about sustainability. I'll definitely be keeping this and reusing it. But it's little hearts. Can you see that? The bubble wrap has hearts. The bubbles are heart shaped. It's killing me. It's too cute. So cute. So we have made it to my Midsummer Stitch acquisitions. There are two like non cross stitch really related items that I got from the like Midsummer Stitch shop that they have. I got this pouch that is way bigger than I thought it was. But it's a cicada pouch. It has like a zipper. I don't know what to put in here. Again, I thought it's like way bigger than I thought it was gonna be. And I was just gonna use it for like notions. I mean, I could still do that. I probably will, but really pretty. I love this color green and I love cicadas, so I had to pick that up. And then I also got this Hive and Holler beeswax lotion bar because I've heard so much about these, and I have heard that they're pretty good to use like when you're stitching. They don't make your hands like too wet or greasy to hold the fabric. It smells really good. And I thought about getting one of the other scents, but I'm glad I got the lavender one. I really like lavender. So I also got 2 physical patterns at Midsummer Stitch. These are 2 that were on my wish list already. Kind of bummed because they sent those physical items just in the same like flat mailer as these, and so they got bent like pretty bad. But I've never had that happen with Lindy stitches, so sorry, I'm like fiddling with it because it really is bent. Anyway, so these 2 sprouting lupine designs that I've had on my wish list. This one is the Unicorn's Garden. And I already know exactly what fabric I'm putting this on. God, it's so pretty. And then this one, which I also already know what fabric I'm putting it on. This is yeah, it's the Witching Hour Nature Walk. And I really like the colors on this. I might start that this fall, like in October. I also got, like, as part of being influenced by the festivities, when I was watching the Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery and Stitchman Darcy Flosstube Live, I went and got the Morbs from Modern Folk Embroidery, which I've been looking at forever, but I finally, I went ahead and got it. And then I got, watching the finish parade, I saw somebody who'd finished Neon Cicada by Bad Stitched, and I loved that. I loved it. Again, like, I'm in the South. Cicadas are just a fact of the summer, so I love stitching cicadas in the summer. As I said, I did that Stitch Brow one, and yeah, so I got that. I think that's all of the results of my my time at the Midsummer Stitch. Just a couple more things here. Cross stitch things. I made an order on Country Stitches online. That's Brenda Gervais' website with my needle and thread designs, cross stitch designs. And she has patterns on her website that a lot of times, like, she no longer supplies to needle workshops, or they're not really often purchased because they're older, but you can get them from her directly. So that's what that's what two of these are, and then the other two I just threw in there. So this one's Frady Felix. Hold on, you gotta see him in his full glory. Okay, Frady Felix. I don't know if I'll make him like a pouch. I don't know if I'll do that or stitch it all in one piece. I will probably stitch it all in one piece, but I would like to finish it into a kitty cat shape. He's so cute. And then I got a Trick or Treat. I love the jaunty angle of this foot. I love the just goofy Jack smile. I love a jack-o'-lantern. I love a weird looking jack-o'-lantern. And I love some solid stitching. So I'm excited about that. This one is the cat and the moon. And the picture on the back, you can see the moon. I never really noticed the moon until I realized it was called the cat and the moon, and I looked for it. So I would probably finish that in a hoop, and I think he's adorable. He kind of has like a little clown outfit on. And then last but not least, I've had this on my like Pinterest wish list forever, but it's 3 tulips, and it's just a nice spring design, but I like it. It's kind of folksy. I like that. And then a few eBay purchases I got. I got both the sun, or no, the moon and the star of these Waxy Moon Designs topiaries. I'm very excited about that, and they both have their little charms with them. And so I love, look at the detail in this little pot. It's very 90s, and that's my coming of age years. So then I also got from the same seller, I got this Noel design. I just think it's kind of a simple, classic Christmas design. So that is it for cross-stitch collection development. I have books and dolls next, but if you're just here for the cross-stitch, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. But if you are here for the books, I've got a few. As I said, it's been a minute. I had time. I'll just go through these. Most of these I haven't read yet. But so they're not going to give any reviews. These are acquisitions. TBR. Except for this one. I've read this one. This is An Excellent Host by Chelsea G. Summers. She wrote A Certain Hunger. I love A Certain Hunger. This was, I found out, it's very small. I already read it in like a sitting. I found out about it, I don't remember where, but I was kind of perplexed as to why I hadn't heard more about it, because it came out like a while ago, and you couldn't really get it anywhere. I had to order it specifically off of her indie publisher's website. So while I was there, that indie publisher has an imprint where they republish lesser known works from classic authors. So I got this, it is Twilight Sleep from Edith Wharton. I love Edith Wharton, and I really like House of Mirth, which also has some similar themes, but this was several decades later, where Edith Wharton had more life experience, and she's kind of writing from a different, the main character I think is in a different point in her life, so I'm very, very interested in reading this. And after acquiring this, I found out, I think, why I hadn't really heard about it and why it's hard to get. I think it was maybe like a promotional piece for the American Booksellers like indie bookshop day. It might have been like a gift with purchase kind of thing for that day. But you can get this. But it's more or less, it's a short story. It's a short story. I liked it. So if you're a fan, I think it's worth picking up. But if you're not a fan, if you didn't like A Certain Hunger, don't. You don't. I really am excited about this though. Look at that. Hell yeah. Next I made an order. I was talking to my friend about a book I had read recently, and I wanted to read the next one, and then a series I was interested in. And I went online, and this one was on sale that I was looking for. And if I got 3 books, I would get, like 30% off all of them or something. So of course I had to get 3. So the first one, the one I was really looking for was this. It's the first book in the Shady Hollow series, which from what I can tell is a woodland animal themed cozy murder mystery series. That's not, cozy murder mystery isn't really like a genre that I'm like super into. Woodland animals, however, I do love talking animals. And it just genuinely, I think the cover art really kept intriguing me, and it seems like they get like favorable reviews, and so I really wanted to check it out. So, this is Shady Hollow by Juno Black. The other one I wanted to get because I had read, the first one I read, The Cat Who Saved Books, which was fantastic. And then The Cat Who Saved the Library is out. And so I went ahead, look at the kitty. Oh. I went ahead and picked that up. I'm really excited. I will probably start this one pretty soon. And then for my third book, of course, I got Who Will Run the Frog Hospital by Lori Moore. And again, this one was on, on my radar. It was on my list. And it's sort of like a grown woman looking back on her rebellious teenhood, sort of like misty nostalgia kind of a thing. That's very much my vibe. So, I'm excited for this one. Then I went to, I was hanging out with one of my friends. We went to get dinner, and we went to Barnes & Noble to walk around. And one of my main reasons for wanting to go into Barnes & Noble was to go ahead and grab the prequel to Legends and Lattes, Bookshops and Bone Dust, because the third one, I'm trying to remember what it's called. I don't remember, Brigands and something. But I don't know. The third one's coming out, and I still haven't read the second one. So I wanted to go ahead. I think I was holding out because I was hoping that they would come out with a better quality paperback, but they didn't. So I went ahead and got it because I want the one with the cover art. The hardcovers don't have the character art on the front. I think it's on the inside, but I like it on the front. So I'm going to check that out. I also have been wanting to pick up the physical copy of Salt Slow by Julia Armfield. I've read this in ebook form, and I really liked it. And then I read her book, Our Wives Under the Sea, which I also really liked, and I acquired that in physical. And so I wanted to go ahead and have this so I could put that next to that one. So I got that. And then earlier this year, I read Song of Achilles, and I was a little lukewarm on it. And so I was looking at people who were like, I like these things about it, but not really this. Do you have recommendations? And I saw multiple times Autobiography of Red by Anne Carson recommended to people who liked certain aspects but not others of Song of Achilles. So I really am excited about this. I think I'll like it. So I picked that up when we were at the Barnes & Noble. And then I've already started this one, as you can see. I was walking around and I had forgotten that I had this on my list, my, sort of just awareness of books I'm interested in list. Sunburn, but it's Chloe Michelle Haworth. And this is I believe, sapphic coming of age, coming out, coming to terms with one's sexuality, sort of, nostalgic. Again, like from looking back at your teenhood kind of a thing. I think this one will psychologically destroy me in a good way. So I'm really excited about digging more into this, and I think this will be kind of my like closing out the summer read as well. Last two. These two are from eBay. I had never heard of this, but I saw it and I bought it like really quickly. It was like $4, so I just bought it. It is The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. It is a Frankenstein retelling from the perspective of Elizabeth Frankenstein, who is Victor's adopted sister, but also betrothed. She is in the original, and this really dives into her story. And I very much am interested in thinking about that perspective of the entire thing. So we know I've been on my Frankenstein kind of kick this year, so I think I'll really enjoy this. I might pick that up more like in the winter. Last book. I love graphic novels, and I specifically love graphic novels made by queer people, because I think a lot of queer people find expression in the genre, in my experience I have found. And I grew up goth in the early 2000s. All of those things put together, I am shocked that I was not familiar with this early 2000s queer and goth Southern graphic novel series. So this is Wet Moon. This is the first book. I got it on eBay, so it's a little banged up because I didn't want to pay, because this version's like not in print anymore, but I liked this cover more than the modern cover. I'm ridiculously excited about reading this. I just am. This is like exactly like I love Ghost World. I love Alison Bechdel. Like I'm excited. So actually, we'll probably put that on the top with Sunburn. To dig in as soon as I can. Okay. That is all of the books. So I'm going to move into a little bit of doll collection development next. Okay, so as I sort of alluded to in my last video, when I talked about the Sweet 1600 Dracula birthday collection, that I might collection complete for that, and I did. I bought the other two. So this is Frankie Stein and Cleo Denial from the Sweet 1600 collection. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up on each of them. And there you go. I think that Frankie's face is just absolutely, this face up is absolutely gorgeous. I was on the fence, like, from the pictures, but I'm really glad that I looked at other people, like other collectors' pictures, and that I went ahead and got them. Okay, they have this little like side shave cut, which is very cute. I really love their arm warmers. I love the plaid and the stitching on the dress. I'm usually not a fan of when they do the pink prosthetic leg for Frankie. I just think the silver one looks better, but it does tie in. It ties the look together for this one instance. I love their accessories. They have these really cool like ear cuffs. Yeah. So I'm glad I got them. And then Cleo as well. I really like Cleo's shoes. I think they're the, like, hold on. One thing before I put Frankie down. For both of these, they both had the high ponies as part of their look. I did not take those down or restyle them. All I did was a boil wash, which makes them very silky and straight. It undoes some of the crimping that can happen in transit and in the boxes. And so, yeah, so that's all I did for them. Okay, so Cleo, I really like her shoes. They look the most like cake. A lot of them have like piping, like this like frosting piping on some of their accessories. But I just think her shoes are so cute. And then she has a lot, like the piping on her like dress is the most obvious. Like it looks like a cake. And I love these kind of allusions to like Marie Antoinette, like Sofia Coppola aesthetic and this like let them eat cake kind of ball kind of a thing. Love that. Love. And I haven't posed her yet. Great look, sweetie. I really like her arm warmers as well. And she has like these ribbons that come down, and look at her face up. She's gorgeous. Okay, speaking of that collection, one update. I think I mentioned this last time that I needed to redo Cupid's hair. And I was able to do that. And I have her on a different stand, but she is still like floating. I think that's working pretty well. Yeah, so I was able to redo her hair. I think she's looking a lot more like her character model. And she looks nice next to the rest of them. Okay. 2 more. This is the Creepover Twyla, which was a collection I think in 22 or 23. So it's not really like in stores anymore, but I found her in box on eBay, secondhand. Look at her. She has like haunted house windows in her shoes. Twyla is there. Okay, that's better. Twyla is the daughter of the boogeyman. And so she has like just spooky things, like she has like this door knocker belt, spider webs, just sort of these like ethereal, smoky motifs. She has a bunny named Dustin because he's like a dust bunny. So the bunny is kind of her mascot because she's under the bed like a dust bunny. She's so sweet. She is so sweet. I love this outfit. I love the like 2010s twee girl kind of vibe to it. I think that's very Twyla. Anyway, I like this character and this execution of this character. When I got her, her hair was really busted. Even though she was in box, the box looked like it had been at the bottom of someone's closet since they got her. And it was squished under a lot of things. So, which is fine. I got her for a good price. But, so I redid her hair. And I think her hair looks nice now. Okay. Last, but certainly not least, because Caddy is one of my favorite characters, I got the, I think it's, what's it called? Hauntlywood Mysteries. Caddy Noir. And I had to do some restyling to make her to my liking. This, the shirt under her, like, the thing she's wearing on her torso is a rainbow high shirt. But, I think she's adorable. She's one of my favorites. And I really hope that they make some more characters using this body model. You know, for tail. Look how beautiful she is, though. Yes. There. This hair, the material they used for this hair is the cheapest, like, doll hair material you can use, and it's really bad. And so my headcanon for myself has been that this is just her going out wig, and doesn't need to be nice. It's nighttime. Don't worry about it. Mind your business. Oh my, look at that. You can't move it or it looks terrible. Okay. Girl, it's not your fault. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh, so a Caddy, her thing is like she's a black cat, and so she's obsessed with like unlucky things, and so she has like this broken mirror, and she has like the number 13 on a lot of stuff. Yeah. I think that's really cute. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm rambling about Caddy Noir, which is okay. There's worse things to ramble about. Okay, the sun is setting. Would you like to see my dog? Okay, I think he's ready for this to be over. Thank you, everyone. If you made it this far, take a drink of water, take a deep breath. You deserve it. And just thank you so much for stopping by. I will see you next time.